personality.
Y'all see me?
Who was that?
We see you. The other one's lagging.
Harold, go out and get out of here.
I want to chime in as a black woman when I can get a chance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Hi.
Now, from your perspective, right, the question she proposed, why do black women get mad when black men date outside of their race?
Well, you got to understand.
I gave the reason I think that black women will be upset. That was one of the factors. So what do you think it is, if it exists at all, if it's a big deal at all?
Okay, so here's why I think black women get mad when we see our men dating outside of our race. One, because there's a history of, how should I say this? There's a history of white women feeling some kind of dominance. Society shows white women as the prime real estate, so to speak. And when most black men get a hold of a little bit of money, the first thing they do is go grab a white woman. And the ones that I feel are okay, first of all, you come from a black woman. You were raised by a black woman. Why would you give that attention once you're successful to someone that doesn't really understand your struggle? Okay,
here's the thing. Do you know that most black men who date outside of their race is because of where they're geographically located? For instance,
okay, we're everywhere. Black women are everywhere.
Well, that's not true. It's not true. Because listen. I moved from Brooklyn to Florida, right?
I'm in Florida right now.
When I lived in Brooklyn, of course I was all around everybody black, right? So that's all I dated. When I moved to Florida, the side of town I moved on, everybody's Hispanic.
Hispanic, right.
Everybody's Hispanic.
Here we go though. Hispanics, they got Hispanics that are my color, my complexion.
So that's a fact.
So now, that's still not saying anything. I'm talking, when I say the struggle, understand your struggle. A black woman understands your struggle more than anybody on this planet. We've been there for you from the beginning. And for you to go outside of your race and give somebody else that
but do you this is my whole thing about it, right? I don't give a fuck about who date who, right? I don't care about that. My thing is I fuck with who I fuck with, period.
Right. Okay.
Regardless of the race. A lot of times you deal with people who are in your circle. So when a lot of black men reach successful levels, they date the people who are around them. I don't think black men specifically, there are some black men who go out.
But see, that goes back to the point that the last caller was making when she said that there's not a lot of black successful women because we're overlooked. We have the education, we have the you know what I'm saying, the desire, and it's like we get overlooked. And even in the corporate world, a white woman, we're just talking about women in general.
Okay.
A white woman with the same qualifications will get that promotion over a black woman. That's just a fact.
Okay.
So when we're dealing with why black women get so frustrated when we see our men, because they're ours. You look at the Spanish culture, you don't see a lot of them dating outside of their race. You don't see a lot of it's our black men.
Hey, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I'm lying.
You ever see my kids?
No, I haven't seen your kids.
My kids are mixed.
So can I
they definitely date up.
And then there's that's where confusion comes in. Because now what are your kids mixed with?
Hispanic, Persian.
So where they think about their culture, what dominates them? The Hispanic side or
Black
your
always
side?
dominate. Black always dominate. Always. I mean, of course they know their culture, definitely. I want them to be familiar with what their mothers are. However, my kids know exactly what they are. They know exactly what they are. Yeah.
So this speaks more of like kingdom and nation building. When you're taking, because basically there's just tribes. We use the word race, but really we're just all from different tribes.
Facts.
Go ahead, brother over here look like he ready to chime in.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
So what's good? I understand her perspective from a woman. Now,
Right.
here's my perspective, what I think from a man's perspective. I feel like the reason black women get mad when black men date white women is historically rooted from slavery.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like the black woman has not forgiven us for allowing slavery to happen. I really believe that. I feel like since slavery
That's a deep
happened,
dive.
I think since slavery happened, they lost a lot of respect for men, and it just traveled from generation to generation. So from a male perspective, I feel like because we allow slavery to happen, yeah, they don't really respect us. And
Well,
you know, to a certain degree.
I don't think it, well, the black family was very strong up until about, I would say, the 1960s. Understand, systematic destruction of the black family was systematically done, right?
Right.
You had a system of welfare that was implemented into the black communities, right?
Right.
Now, when welfare came into the situation, black men were already not allowed to get jobs.
Right.
And black men were the sole providers of the household.
Right.
So when welfare came into the order, they said, hey, black woman, we'll help you out. You don't need him. So we're going to pay your rent. We're going to give you money. And he can't stay here.
Yeah.
That was how it started.
That's,
so now you got black women who are utilizing the same system that destroyed the black families to benefit themselves, right? Because they got to feed themselves, they got to feed their children. So the black man is kicked out of the house and still can't find a job. Meanwhile, the government is taking care of the black women.
Yeah.
Right? So now you got this mentality that was created by women and passed over to their children. Hey, you don't need a man because we got this system to take care of us. That started from there. Right. Now black men rise back up. We got all this money, but the disrespect was already there.
Right.
It already existed. It was already in the children. And so the structure of the black household was broken down systematically from the country itself.
And because of that, a lot of black women, even though they claim they love us and they, you know, adore us, a lot of black women have a mentality where black men ain't shit. So if you think something ain't shit, and that's something that's not shit, go out and get a white woman, you're going to be really pissed off.
Right.
I want to go back to the original topic, which was black men or black women defending black men getting pegged. And my comment that was because that goes back to like buck breaking. Like there's nothing straight about that. A lot of our black men have turned over.
Thank you for bringing it back to that, because we went off on a tangent, but this is what the conversation was supposed to be about.
But the respect, I think it's a respect factor too for black men. A lot of black women have lost respect because when it comes to things like standing up for rights for not just black women, but black men, period.
Right.
There's fear. There's a fear factor. Most of the black men who have stood up for families are either locked up, shot down, you know, like they take our leaders. So nobody really wants to step up and be a leader because of the fear factor, right. You know, and until they are are fearless, then yeah, a lot of times we don't respect that. We don't respect the fact that nobody's standing up for the black families right now.
Right.
And here's the thing: there are huge, like for instance, like with Charlemagne, right?
He's gay.
This is a straight man with a wife and kids, right?
Yeah.
You don't let a group of women come sit on your platform and tell the world that a man, black man, let's be real, that's what they're talking about. A black man is still straight if he allows a woman to perform a gay act on him.
But what do you expect from a man who goes up there and talks about getting his ass ate all the time?
Right, but this is the thing,
though. He does.
So, but I got to cover all angles. Because some people will say, oh, well, why are you talking about gay people? I'm not talking about gay people. I'm defending the straight man. You see what I'm saying? And it's very little of that.
Because there's a problem in society where everything is about standing up for gay rights, but who stands up for straight rights?
bro. Listen.
That's a
I'm not
fact.
gonna. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna let. I mean, I can't control what people say or do, but I can come and say some shit too. Like, listen, you're sitting on a Breakfast Club is probably the biggest platform in the country. It really is. It's the biggest morning show in the country. So now you have the man who runs that shit allowing women, and he agreed with them. He was like, "Oh yeah, you know, you're not gay if you let a woman do a gay act. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a woman or not. That is an act of sodomy on a man."
Right.
So I don't give a fuck if a woman is doing it. That pegging shit, all of that shit is designed for over-sexualized, hyper-sexualized women who want to be dominant on men. You're trying to dominate the man. How the fuck, and that whole thing about, the G spot is in the asshole. Since when we need extra pleasure?
You had somebody in your comments. You had somebody in your comments that said that because it's an act between a man and a woman, it makes it a straight act, even though the woman is finished.
That's bullshit.
And I was a little confused because I'm saying the woman has to strap on a fake penis. So for that to be a straight act is a little beyond me.
You're performing a gay act on a straight man.
It's levels to this. If you let a woman do that to you, it's only a matter of time before you
gonna want the real thing.
It's the gate. It's the introductory to
it's
gay
levels.
sex, bro.
And here's the thing: if nobody stands up for straight rights, what's gonna happen is a lot of kids growing up is gonna be like, well, being straight don't have no perks no more. I'm about to be on that other side. That's where we're headed to. Society will block me for saying that that's gay.
Yeah.
And before they tell them, like, you just said some bullshit. Here's the thing. Naturality is conformity is coming in, and naturality is going out. Right. So anything that's natural is like, for instance, now they call men cis men or cis woman. What? Like, why am I not just a man?
It's an agenda that they're pushing.
Why do I have to do? Why are you giving? And now you have a gender assigned to you. What are you talking about? Like, that's not how it works.
You know, it's even playing on the younger generation and the older generation, because even the young kids are saying, "Oh, you guys just grew up in an era where everything was judged, or we all just, you know." So you now have the younger generation. When we come out and say, no, that's just gay, we was not having that in our communities when I was growing up, they're like, oh, because you guys were closed-minded. So now you have the younger generation.
Like, listen, here's the thing.
Against the older generation.
Here's the thing. I was on Clubhouse the other day, and I was having a conversation about, we were doing this. It was a group of black women, a group of black men. We were talking about, is there a war between black men and black women, right? Mm-hmm. And we were trying to come up with some compromises and just actually talk and see what the issue was. So there was a gay woman who came on, and then she got mad because we didn't include her in the conversation. Right? Mm-hmm. And I said, with all due respect, nobody has an issue with what you do, right? We love you as a person, but this is a conversation between straight people. Right? This is a conversation between black men and black women who procreate together. You're not into that shit. So why do we have to include you in this conversation? You see what I'm saying? And that right there will be considered homophobic. Right. If there's gay people having a conversation about gay acts, I don't want nothing to do with that conversation. It doesn't mean I have a problem with them as people. It just means that I'm not gay. Yeah. So why do I need to be included in this conversation? Oh, somebody said something about the cross-dressing men. Yeah, there's a lot of that happening. Right. Like I said, all of those things. Like, everybody, like, there's a reason why it's called an alternative lifestyle. It's an alternative to the norm. The norm is a man gets with a woman, a man has a baby with a woman, and they create a family. A man on man is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's unnatural. Right. It's unnatural. And that's not me gay bashing. That's not me being homophobic. It just is what the fuck it is. And the minute you say something like that, you're considered homophobic. I remember Genuine was on a show, and a transgender man tried to kiss him, and they called him homophobic for that. What the fuck do you mean? How is that homophobic? Right. And I don't want a man kissing me.
It's just to silence you. It's to silence you because as soon as you hear the word homophobic, you're like, okay, maybe I'm being judgmental. I don't want to be labeled that. Yeah, it's just to silence you.
Phobia, by definition, is a fear of something.
A fear of, right.
I'm not scared of you, but you do what you do. I got gay homeboys.
Right now, it's an extreme gay and feminism agenda going on in America right now. Why I say that is feminism was really started for equality of women. Right?
Right.
Now they got equality. They don't even just want equality no more. They just want dominance. They just want everything. They want what we have and more. That's why when I say they want dominance, that's
but
dominance.
You know the feminism thing did not start with black women. White women started that.
With white women.
Exactly.
Listen,
because their men were treating them like
I'm gonna put this comment, right? I have yet to see a straight man discuss his own anatomy. You got these women telling men that if you get his prostate touched, he's gonna have an orgasm. How the fuck can a woman tell a man some shit like that? And then when a man comes out and says that, oh, you don't want to try new things, like she just said, and touching a man's prostate can give him an orgasm. Who the fuck told a woman that? That's bullshit.
Western doctrine.
First of all, I've had to get examinations because I thought I had an ulcer at one time and they had to go in anally. That shit hurt like a motherfucker. There's nothing pleasurable about that shit. So who told these women this shit?
It's all mental.
It's all
mental. Women like to tell men shit like that because they like to do that to men. So they try to convince you that you're not doing a gay act because they want to do some fucking dominant freaky shit to you.
It's a form of emasculation. That's the goal of a lot of these women today. They want to slowly emasculate black men because a lot of them get a kick out of it. It's emasculation, and that's what America is doing. People don't realize America is slowly emasculating black men with the help of black women.
Let me tell you something.
Which is why our respect level has gone down for the black men.
If I would have accepted some of the roles and some of the things they wanted me to do in the industry, bro, I would be a fucking multi-millionaire right now.
Are they actually wearing dress?
Bro, different shit that would make me like just be more. Put like this. Anytime a man moves like a man is supposed to move, we're considered aggressive.
Toxic,
you're being
toxic
difficult.
Masculinity. They call it toxic masculinity.
Yeah, it's toxic. Like being a man is being a man is toxic. But yet you say you want a man to run the household. You want a man to be the provider. You want to be the breadwinner.
You want an alpha.
But in the meanwhile, you need to do these bitch ass things in order to be considered right in society. When a woman says to you, and this is no offense, when a woman says to a man, "Oh, I don't like the way you're talking to me." Most of the time, a man is not even yelling at you. He's not even yelling. You didn't like what I said. Oh, you need to change your tone when you talk to me. No, I don't. I don't need this. This is a man talking to you. Right. So, and this is the thing. Women want it to be equal. Listen, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It's not equal. A woman has a role and a man has a role.
Right, I agree.
It doesn't mean a man is dominant to a woman. It just means a man is a man and a woman is a woman. So you don't need to step. A woman will spend an hour trying to match testosterone levels with you, then take the 3 seconds to use her feminism, to use her femininity to dead the argument.
Yeah.
I said this before. A man could be arguing with a woman, and if a woman just walks up to a man and kisses him on the lips, the argument will end immediately because we are confused. That will confuse us. We're not going to keep going after that, right? We're going to calm down immediately because that's what a woman does. But a woman thinks her femininity is a weakness. It's not weak to be feminine.
It's not.
It's not weak to be a feminine woman. But instead, you want to match wits and emasculate this man and make him feel like a little bitch to win instead of coming to a compromise.
There's a lot of black women that hold a lot of anger. Right. You know, there's a lot of angry, and they're labeled as angry black women. But the anger comes from
fatherless women. It's a lot of women who grew up without a fucking daddy. This is no offense. It's a lot of women who grew up without a fucking daddy that like to tell a man what a man is. How do you know what a man is if you didn't have an example of a man growing up?
Well, I have my daddy, and I'm still angry at the black man sometimes.
But see, the thing about it, but see, the thing about it is your energy is not combative. Your energy is not aggressive.
Right.
So you have your anger, but your emotions are intact.
And you still have your femininity.
You have your femininity. You're not being aggressive and yelling and talking over me. We're having a fair, equal conversation.
Notice how she stops and listens. Notice how she stops and listens. A lot of them don't do that. They just keep talking over you, and that's why.
That's what I'm saying. See, even though you can be angry at the black man, but you're able to express that without being aggressive, without responding just because you didn't like what I said or you didn't agree with it. You're actually responding to what I'm saying as opposed to responding with your emotions.
Yeah.
And these are the women that's leading the charge on what a real man should be.
And let me piggyback on the black men. When they get successful, they go to white women. Now, when you're successful and you're going somewhere in life, you don't got time to deal with a woman that's always arguing, that's always stressing you out. Where you been? Da, 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 da.
Oh, white women don't do that?
They don't. I don't think most of them do.
Bro, I gotta check you, bro. Hold on, I'm not gonna let you do that.
Wait a minute. Answer that. White women don't do that,
bro. First of all, let's be clear. Most black men don't date white women.
It's a small percentage.
It's a very, very small percentage of black men that date white women, right?
Well, we're not even talking white. What about outside of the race? Not just white women, but like you say, Hispanic women, Chinese women.
Right, but most black men that date white women were raised around white people. They not. You rarely see niggas from the hood that date white women. They don't date white women. If a dude from the hood date a white woman, she probably from the hood too.
White women don't like hood niggas either.
No, but there are white women who grew up in poor
communities. I don't know about that one.
There are white women who grew up in poor communities.
I know some white women co-workers that have come out and confessed that they will like a hood nigga.
Right, but they won't marry him though.
Nah,
they'll fuck him. Listen,
yeah,
black man is the most sexually desired man on the planet. Right. This is no offense to anybody. It's just the way it is. I don't give a fuck what Puerto Rican, Chinese, white man in the comments get mad. We are the most sexually desired beings on the planet. Period. Point blank. You understand what I'm saying? This is why we got sex categories on porn sites. You know what I'm saying? That's why the BBC category exists.
Yep.
The white man category on porn sites, cuckold. I'm just saying, we're just desired men. Like, that's not our fault. We was born that way. The thing about it is, when you see a black man stepping outside his race, here's the thing I don't understand. Black people will get angry at Hispanic people for not acknowledging their African roots, but then get mad when a black man dates a Hispanic woman. You ever seen that shit before? Like, we'll say it all the time about Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Cubans. They're black. They're descendants of slaves.
Right.
Right? We want them to acknowledge their African lineage, but then get mad when they date a black man. But I thought they were black, though. At the end of the day, we date who we love. We date who we're close to. We fuck with who fuck with us.
Yeah.
Now, as long as you're not stepping on the toes of black women or black men while doing that, it's fine. Like I said, I date outside of my race. Black, Chinese. I've been with white women, but I've never been in a relationship with a white woman. I've had sexual exploits with white women, but I've never been in a relationship with a white woman. And it's not because I don't like them. It's like, I don't think we have much. I fuck with who I can relate to. Hispanic people can relate to black people. We have the same struggles in this country. Asian people can relate to black people. We have the same, we're all oppressed. So I can't see myself settling down with a person who really don't understand my struggle. Hispanic people got the same struggles as black people in this country. So yes, they can understand where we're coming from.
Go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
You know, I was looking at some of these comics.
I don't know about the same struggle though.
Well, here's the thing. They weren't. All right, put like this. If you're from the Dominican Republic, right? they were once Africans that were bought either indigenous from over there, or they were black people bought from Africa to be slaves in the Dominican Republic and in Haiti, right? Some of them are lighter skinned, so they're the descendants of the slave masters. Some of them are darker skinned, so they're the descendants of the slaves. If you go to any country on this planet, the darker skinned people are always the poorest. Any country.
That's a fact.
Any country in Asia, any country in Africa,
Australia,
even Africans on Africans. If you look at that movie,
the Aborigines.
If you look at the movie Hotel Rwanda, they talk about that. The Tutsis and the Hutus. The Hutus are the darker skin. When the white people left that country, they left the Tutsis in power because they were lighter skin, they were fairer skin. Those are the descendants of the white people, or they mated with them. But the darker skinned people were automatically placed into a tribe because they're darker skinned. So even in Africa, the lighter skinned people are in power. If you go to Brazil, if you go to the favelas, Brazil was where 60% of the slave trade went. 60%. So if you go to Brazil, that's why they're so beautiful over there, because they mix with a bunch of shit over there. If you go to the favelas in Brazil, they all black. All the poor people in the hood are black. If you go to like Rio de Janeiro, where the big houses at and the big high rises, they're white. They're light skinned with green eyes. It's like that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that what I'm saying is the darker skinned people are always the most oppressed. So you take the darker skinned people, like the Dominicans, and they move to America. They had struggles there too. So they come here and they got to struggle and go through it. The difference between them and us, even if you look at people from Jamaica, Bahamas, Haiti, when they come over to America, they stick together.
Right.
These issues we talk about a lot are Black American problems. If you look at the West Indies, they understand the concept of family. They understand that the man is the head of the household. The shit that we be arguing back and forth about are prevalent in the Black American community. That shit don't happen in Jamaica or the West Indies and shit like that. They understand what family is.
It trickles
Their
down
family
to
were
these
systematically
countries,
torn apart.
You heard?
What's
It
that?
starts here and it trickles down to these other places. Because remember, America is where everything starts. You know what I mean? America has the biggest influence in the Western Hemisphere.
Close that door.
So it starts here and it trickles to these countries.
Right.
It may not be as prevalent, but it trickles down to these countries eventually.
Like I even like me.
It's a fact that Black women don't want a Black man who likes pegging. And with that,
Look, she said even look. She said even to say why they're so beautiful. Are you kidding me? I'm acknowledging the African in them. See how that flew over her head? Because I said Brazilian women are so beautiful. Because they're African. That's why. Anything with Black in you is gonna be beautiful.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Brazilian women are gorgeous. Dominican women are gorgeous. They look better than Russians and shit like that. And I'm not saying Russian women are beautiful, but once you add that African in it, that melanin, you're gonna get bigger titties, bigger ass, fairer skin. Listen, it's the reason why white women get tans. Why do you think they get tans and bigger lips and bigger titties and fake asses?
Everything look better with a tan.
Everything look better with a tan in it. Even when you go to fucking when I weightlift, even when you go to the gym, when you go to these bodybuilding contests, what do? They spray paint themselves before they go up there. You know why? Because when your skin is darker, your muscles are more defined.
The blacker the berry.
These are facts. This is not me.
Your skin look healthier when you got a tan.
Right. It's a reason why
Not
people
that
do that.
shit.
Anytime you add melanin to something, it looks better. That is a fact. It's more appealing to the eye. When you see a pale white person, they look albinos are sick. They can't even go outside. Right? When you strip somebody of their melanin, they're an albino. It's a deficiency.
Yeah.
It's a deficiency. Right? Anybody who's white, go out to the town, they're more prevalent to get skin cancer. So when you see these Brazilian women, these darker ones, they fucking gorgeous. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had to check her real quick. Like I was trying to say Brazilian women look better. They're African too. So even white people gotta admit that y'all fuck with the melanin too. They might not want our lives. That's the problem. They don't want the lives we had and the struggles we had. But the way we look, 100%. Go to fucking Hollywood. They pumping their fucking lips full of collagen, getting breast implants. Black shit. You go to Africa, the women look like that for real. They look like that for real. The women got big titties.
The shit they used to scorn back in the day is what everybody wants now. Bigger lips, bigger ass,
everybody.
Thighs,
right?
Titties. They used to scorn that back in the day.
Right.
Now
everybody and you remember, that. We could go back to the 80s. In the 80s, pencil thin, white women, blonde hair, blue eyes was the signature of beauty. Right. That was what beauty was.
Right.
But then after a while, nah, we want some ass.
You see
titties.
You seen commercials lately? Every commercial nowadays, the woman is either mixed. You could tell they're leaning over to she got curly hair.
Right.
And she's not, and she has a little, you know what I mean, a little curves on her. Watch all the commercials nowadays. They putting women with curves in there now. It's crazy. Shit done changed.
and the thing is, this is not to say that any other white women or Asian women or any other race is unattractive. But what I'm saying is, when they want to make themselves more attractive, when themselves want to do things that make them more attractive, they do things that's prevalent amongst black people. We're born with this shit. And they do that. They're not trying to be black, but they understand that physical shit makes you look better.
Yeah, that's
I dare a white woman disagree with that. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Hey, my live is gonna end. I'm gonna come right back on because I only got like a minute left.
My dude.
I'm gonna come right back.
All right.